thunder showers today. Other than that, it'll be kind of overcast with still warm conditions for this time of year. Most of us from the valley on toward the south getting into the lower, if not the middle 60s, and the winds will pick up as we head toward this afternoon. Same thing overnight tonight. Under cloudy skies, we'll see some rain and then some snow mixing in toward and after midnight. Temperatures bottoming out around 30 to 35 degrees, but it'll feel more like the 20s, and that'll be the case over the next couple of days with both rain and snow shower chances that take us through St. Patrick's Day.
A lot more coming up. We'll be right back.
Your eyewitness weather forecast.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed with your eyewitness weather forecast for today, which includes warm weather for this time of year, considering that temperatures typically should be in the upper 30s to around 40 for March 11th. Today will be around 67 degrees, at least in downtown Utica. That won't be the case everywhere. I'll show you that in a second. And there will be some thunder showers. Other than that, some overcast skies today. Sunset tonight at 7:06, and winds out of the southeast at around 10 to 20 miles an hour with gusts of 20 to 30 miles an hour at times. And as you head up toward the north, temperatures will only be stuck in the middle and upper 50s there from the valley on toward the south, getting into the lower and middle 60s, but still considerably above average for this time of year. Overnight tonight, dropping to around 32 degrees with some rain and some snow showers mixing in late. Winds out of the south and southwest, though, at around 10 to 20, and we'll see some cooler conditions to close the work week.
Hey, Central New York.
Forecast. Here's meteorologist Jordan Reed.
Thanks so much, Thomas, and happy Wednesday to everybody. Today will still be warm with some thunder showers out there. Warm for this time of year, I should say, considering that the average high for March 11th is right around 40 degrees. Today will be around 67 in downtown Utica with overcast skies, those thunder showers, and some of those could be heavy at times today, too. Sunset tonight at 7:06. We'll see a southeasterly breeze at around 5 to 15 miles an hour, but there could be gusts at times of 25 to 30 miles an hour, especially as we head toward this afternoon. So temperatures up toward the north will be a little bit cooler, more like the middle and upper 50s there. And then from the valley on toward the south, getting into the lower, if not the middle 60s. Overnight tonight, dropping to the 30s. That means we'll see rain at first and then some snow showers mixing in, especially toward and after midnight. Winds out of the south and southwest at around 10 to 15 miles an hour means that we will see a colder finish to the work week with both rain and snow showers, and that goes into St. Patrick's Day. And I'll have your latest forecast coming up tonight on Eyewitness News at 6.
Maybe you've heard about
That's Jordan Reed.
Thanks so much, Thomas. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Today will still be on the warm side for this time of year with some thunder showers, though, as we head throughout the day. Winds out of the southeast at around 5 to 15 miles an hour, but there could be gusts at times of 25 to 30 miles an hour, especially as we head through this afternoon. Sunset tonight at 7:06, and temperatures up toward the north will be much cooler than that, only in the middle and upper 50s to the right around, if not just above 60 degrees. And then from the valley on toward the south, maybe getting into the lower, middle, maybe even the upper 60s for some of you. And overnight tonight, dropping to around 32 degrees. So that means we'll see rain at first, but then some snow showers mixing in, especially toward and after midnight, and an increasing south-southwesterly breeze at around 10 to 20 miles an hour. And that leaves us with colder temperatures to end the work week, along with some rain and snow showers. I've got that forecast tonight at 6.
now your eyewitness weather forecast.
6:08 is now the time on this early Wednesday evening. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking a rising flood risk as we head through the evening hours thanks to the combination of some snowmelt as well as some possibly moderate to heavy rain at times. So let's take a look at what you need to know tonight through tomorrow. So again, heavy rain is possible and isolated flooding is also possible, with most of us potentially seeing as much as half an inch to an inch of rain likely. And there could be some isolated spots that do see more than half an inch. I'll have that rain accumulation map coming up for you in just a second. We're seeing a lot of clouds and even a bit of sunshine in downtown Utica, but generally clouds have the upper hand right now with a southerly breeze at 10 miles an hour. Temperature finally got up to 66. It took a while to get there, and temperatures will remain in the 50s as we head through the evening hours and then eventually drop into the 40s with a cold front moving through. So you'll notice that wind switches from the south and southwest at around 10 to 15 miles an hour. There will be higher gusts at times, especially during the day tomorrow, and then eventually it comes in out of the west and northwest behind a cold front. So you can definitely tell where the warm front is right now, though, because we've got Syracuse sitting at 70 degrees. Over in Elmira, it's 72. Ithaca at 69, and then you don't have to go far to our north to find Watertown 39 and Messina at 31. And meanwhile, we're basking in the warmth, the mild air up the 60s and 70s right now. So you can see out ahead of that front, there is a bit of freezing rain up toward the St. Lawrence Seaway, the international border. Most of the rest of the state, though, just seeing some plain rain, or in some cases, as you just saw in downtown Utica, some clouds and even a bit of sunshine out there right now. So again, that warm front pretty close to the international border right now, but in between we are in the warm sector, and then down toward the south, portions of Pennsylvania into Ohio. The two Virginias under tornado watches and even a tornado warning in sections of Pennsylvania right now. That's going to be the case through the next several hours. I don't expect severe weather here and any thunderstorms. However, there could be some stronger wind gusts, especially as we get closer toward that cold front that moves through toward and after midnight tonight. And there will also be some heavier rain. So because of that, the flood watch continues for the counties from the thruway up toward the north through either 2 p.m. or 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, that being March 12th. And temperatures tomorrow behind that cold front will also be much colder for March 12th, even colder than average for this time of year. Overnight tonight, though, we will see showers and maybe even a heavier thunderstorm or two, as indicated by the brighter colors on the map. And then as that cold front moves through, we see the wind switch over to the west. It becomes quite blustery, and there could even be a few snow showers. That's right, believe it or not, after being in the 60s and 70s the last several days, we go back over to snow showers. Some of those could even be of the lake effect variety as we head through tomorrow afternoon into the evening hours as well, but not much accumulation tomorrow. That changes as we head through the day on Friday. As I mentioned, there could be as much as half an inch to an inch of rain, as you see in some of those brighter blue colors. The rest of us seeing a quarter to a half an inch. And again, there could be as much as dusting to 2 inches for the valley locations, maybe seeing more snow in those higher elevations through Friday. Then it looks like we'll see both rain and snow shower chances and colder temperatures closer to average continuing through the start of next week. That includes St. Patrick's Day itself and the parade in Utica on Saturday. Thomas, back over to you.
Thank you, Jordan. You're watching Eyewitness News.
Is brought to you by Nye Automotive Group. Come see why it's gotta be Nye.
Now, your eyewitness weather forecast.
10:16 is now the time on this late Wednesday evening. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking some rain changing to snow, and that creates flooding concerns as well when you combine that rain with the melting snow. Let's take a look at what you need to know. Again, some heavy rain is possible tonight, and through tomorrow, isolated flooding also possible. As far as rainfall is concerned, we'll get to more on that in just a second. But for most of us, it's between a quarter and a half an inch likely, with some spots seeing over half an inch of rain. I'll get to that momentarily. Let's talk about those temperatures, though, and it took a while to get there, but at around 7 o'clock this evening, we hit a high of 69 degrees for the day, the old record of 66 set back in 2021, so we beat that by 3 degrees, and along with that came an uptick in the humidity as well. It's still somewhat elevated right now, but that dew point is at 58. It was into the lower and middle 60s earlier this evening when that temperature got into the upper 60s. Temperature at the present time, 60 degrees. So we've come down some since then. The wind is now calm, but I do expect that to come up as we go through the next several hours. Now you can see where the fronts are kind of based on the temperature contours right now. We've got 60s over the southern and eastern sections of the state right now, but you go up toward the north. Watertown previously was in the 30s earlier this evening. Now you got up to the 40s with that warm front to your north. Messina not making much progress, though, 31 on the other side of that warm front, and they've even had some freezing rain up along the St. Lawrence Seaway. And then back toward the west, though, look at Buffalo compared to Rochester, 43 versus 60. That's a cold front moving through, and that's the reason for the wind direction shift along with those colder temperatures. So out ahead of that cold front and with the warm front, we are seeing some periods of showers, mainly over the western sections of our viewing area right now. And you'll notice that over Lake Ontario, there is a bit of freezing rain. We're not going to see any freezing rain or any severe weather like they've had down toward our south and west over portions of Pennsylvania and Ohio especially, and even into New Jersey. But we are going to see a risk of flooding during the overnight hours and through the day tomorrow. So for that reason, that flood watch continues from the thruway up toward the north through tomorrow afternoon. And then a flood warning now in effect for the Black River at Watertown, which is in Jefferson County, but it also goes for a section of Lewis County as well along the Black River. That's expected to crest and then recede as we head through tomorrow afternoon, but that warning is in effect till further notice. Overnight tonight, though, we will see that cold front swing through the area. So even though the precipitation chances will eventually dwindle and come to an end, you'll notice that we will see an uptick in the wind and the wind shift from the south over toward the west, which is a colder wind direction. And that temperature tomorrow will only be in the 30s, but it'll only feel like the teens and 20s for most of the day. Definitely a far cry from that record high of 69 that we had earlier this evening. In fact, we'll actually be a little bit below average for March 12th for our Thursday. And as far as the rainfall is concerned, there could be as much as a quarter to a half an inch, both to the north and south. And then along the thruway, there could be as much as half an inch to an inch of rain. That's before we see that switch over to snow. And most of us seeing it dusting 2 inches, but there could be a couple of locales to the north and south, the higher elevations, that see as much as 2 to 4 with both rain and snow shower chances continuing through the parade on Saturday and the St. Patrick's Day holiday itself next Tuesday. Thomas, back to you.
Thank you, Jordan. It's time to send things over to...
Your eyewitness.
Meteorologist Jordan Reed with a look at your eyewitness weather forecast. I hope you're having a safe week so far. Let's take a look at our weather headlines with some heavy rain still possible as we head through the next several hours, and that means that isolated flooding also possible, with many of us seeing a half an inch to a quarter to a half an inch of rain, and then some of us seeing as much as a half an inch to maybe an inch of rain possible. Some of that has already occurred. Some of that is still to come. Before we get to all of that, though, let's take a look at the record high that we had today. It took a while to get there. It took almost till 7 p.m. to get there, but our record high for the day, which is March 11th, 69 degrees, and that beat the old record from 5 years ago, 2021, of 66. And unfortunately, we won't have any record temperatures as we go through the next several days. In fact, we'll actually be a little bit below average as we go through the next few days. Right now, we're still fairly mild, 55 degrees after that high of 69. The air is rather saturated, though, with a dew point of 54, and that dew point, you might have noticed a significant uptick in the humidity. We don't typically see that this time of year, but thanks to that warm front, that dew point got into the 60s, low and middle 60s for many of us, with the actual temperatures I just showed you getting into the upper 60s. So you can see where the battle zones are in terms of the temperature up toward the St. Lawrence Seaway, the Canadian border. We do have a warm front. So even though Watertown is at 51, Messina is still stuck on the other side of it with some freezing rain, some freezing drizzle at times, 31. And then back toward the west, you've got that cold front between Rochester and Buffalo. Rochester at 56, Buffalo 41, and Jamestown already down to 36, even though Wellsville is at 59. So you can just kind of see where those battle zones are based on the contours and the readings on the map. We also have some precipitation still moving through the area right now, obviously in the form of rain, but there is some freezing rain located over Lake Ontario right now and up along the St. Lawrence Seaway. Out ahead of that warm front back toward the west. So you do have that cold front moving through portions of Pennsylvania, western New York, and Ohio right now, and that's going to bring a significant uptick in the wind and the wind shift from the south back toward the west, and that means, you guessed it, a transition from rain back over to snow for some of us by the time we head toward tomorrow morning. But because of that rain and the melting snow, we do have that flood watch that continues through tomorrow afternoon from the thruway up toward the north, and then for Jefferson and Lewis County along the Black River, you do have a flood warning that goes until further notice for the Black River at Watertown, and then further toward the south as it is expected to crest at some point tomorrow or on Friday. So we'll let you know when that does eventually expire. Overnight tonight, though, on Futurecast, we will see some moderate to heavier pockets of rain, and then those will start to taper as we head toward and after midnight. And then as the winds shift toward the west early tomorrow morning, you'll see a transition over to snow. And some of that could be in the lake effect variety, especially as we head toward the late morning, early afternoon. I do expect more snow showers in the morning, but still a spotty snow shower or a few flurries can't be ruled out even as we head through the afternoon. And temperatures tomorrow only running in the 30s, but it'll only feel like the 20s for most of the day, with some of us in the greater Utica area seeing as much as half an inch to an inch of rain still to come, and then another 1 to 2 inches plus of snow, especially in the higher elevations, still to come on Friday. And then it looks like it wraps up Saturday morning with a few snow showers before the St. Patrick's Day parade. And then we go from snow to rain back over to snow by Sunday and Monday. And then a few more snow flurries by the time we head towards St. Patrick's Day itself on Tuesday. Thomas, back to you.
Thank you, Jordan.